What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about Canada's most iconic photographs. So, as an American, I know that there's a lot of Canadian history that I've never seen before, never learned before. So I thought this looked like a really cool way to see some literal snapshots throughout Canadian history. So I want to take a look here at these 25 iconic Canadian photos, starting with this right here. Wow. Who is this? He looks he looks really cool, by the way. Really serious as well. Is this like an indigenous Canadian, a native Canadian? Or so it says here this is George Henry, also known as Manguindos, was an exotic figure to the European audiences. His troupe performed dances and exhibitions for between 1845 and 1848. He was a performer, actually. So he actually was this photo taken at a performance he was doing where he would kind of share some of the indigenous Canadian culture or then the group toured Canada and the United States. I've never heard of him before. He is Canadian, right? I assume that's why he's on this list. And he actually toured Canada and the US. Very cool. Very awesome photograph, by the way. He looks incredible. What do we have here? Flat land? What is that? What is that there? Is it like a sheep? There's what is this photo of? It says this is an early image of Western Canada. According to the photographer's notes, the sparse landscape is a result of a grasshopper infestation that wiped out prairie grasses. So that's why it's a sparse landscape. This is a very striking picture. It's kind of like when you go to a museum and you see a painting and it's just like a box and you're like, what is this? Is this art? I don't know. This kind of reminded me of that because it's so simple, but in its simplicity, it's very striking. I feel like I'm turning into a full-on art critic right now. I gotta tone it down a bit. It's a cool photo because it is so different. It's so simple. I mean, I do actually think that. Flat, what is that there? The skull is a dramatic detail. It's a skull. Wow. This is actually a really cool photo. So, yeah, it's Western Canada. The skull is a dramatic detail that speaks volumes about the remote and forbidding terrain. That's an awesome photo. That's actually awesome. Okay, let's keep going here. I like these a lot so far. Wow. Look at this moment, Cat. It is so cool because obviously the further back in time that we go, it's like the smaller the chances are that someone had like an actual camera and took a picture of it, of what was going on back in the day. This is Canada is one of the last regions of the Americas to be invaded, and early settlers reported on the severity of the climate and told tales of tough living. This just looks like this is really cool because it's like we're just getting a glimpse into their like the daily life that they actually lived. There's nothing miraculous going on here, except that it is. They didn't know it at the time. This was just them hanging out one night around the camp. And that's what makes this kind of cool, that it captured that. This encampment is from William Notman's Caribou Hunting series, created in the confines of his Montreal studio. This is really cool. It's really cool just seeing people from a long time ago, not knowing that they're having a picture taken, just like living. That's why I think I like that so much. And what is this? Look at this. These photos are incredible. I guess I should have anticipated they would be incredible because they're on this top 25 iconic Canadian photo list, but these are incredible. What can I say? This looks like a painting. Is this Niagara Falls? What is this tower? Uh, Niagara Falls, yes, has always been a popular tourist destination, even as surrounding attractions come and go. When is this from? 1870. This is from 1870. When was this from? I didn't even read the date here. 1866. This wow. Oh, that is so cool. 1870. Niagara Falls. I don't know how they took this photo, but it looks like a painting kind of, doesn't it? Okay, keeping right on going. This almost reminds me of like an American photo here. I guess we kind of dress similarly. Looks like Abraham Lincoln or something. Suits. What's going on here? This is a convention of delegates. This is in 1864. From the legislatures of Canada, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, began the formal discussions that led to Confederation 3 years later. This is like the beginnings of the talks of like founding Canada as we know it. Is that what we mean when we said it led to Confederation? Very historical picture. 1860. That is crazy. These are from the 1800s. Oh, look at this. It's a railroad. Is this like some kind of Canadian railroad? What is this called? It's from 1888. In Craigellachie, British Columbia, if I said that right. Donald Smith drove the famous Last Spike from the Canadian Pacific Railway. The Canadian Pacific Railway. That's what this is. I've heard that term. That is amazing that they captured this moment. Look at this. Some of them are looking at the camera. It's kind of funny because they're like, "What the heck is that? Was it one of the cameras that like makes a huge spark and like powder flies out?" Is that what they were using back then? I wonder. Then I'm not surprised. What an incredible moment to be captured. Wow, literally when he was hammering in the final railroad spike on the Canadian Pacific Railway. Unbelievable. Who is this? This is a portrait, a picture portrait. This is from 1873. The power of the portrait is evident in this shot of Louis Riel. Who is Louis Riel? Most people are naturally guarded when having their portrait taken, revealing themselves only when comfortable. But a skilled photographer can find ways to inject their personality into the image. I don't know if he does look. Are we saying he looks comfortable right now? I'm not totally convinced that this guy looks comfortable. Although Riel was committed to preserving Metis culture, he was an early proponent of multiculturalism. So this is a famous Canadian figure. I'm not familiar with him. Louis Riel from 1873. Very cool. Cool portrait. Yeah, okay. What's this? Pushing around, like farming? Like, I can't believe there's photos of this stuff. That is so cool. They look like they're farming, landscaping, pushing around dirt in wheelbarrows. Workers and incarceration were not common subjects for early photography. This is a rare shot that depicts both workers and incarceration. Like incarceration, prisoners or slaves? Wow. This could be a bit of a dark photo then. Amazing that they captured it. In a beautifully composed photo that subtly illustrates the power of one over many. Yeah, just the one dude there standing under the tree while all these people are working. Yeah. Makes you wonder if ever if this is they're saying this is incarceration, which to me means you're in prison. Like this is a punishment, a prison sentence. Is that what this is? Couldn't they have all just like bum rushed him all together with their wheelbarrows and had a prison escape? Or anyway, very cool. Wow, this is from 1916. This is obviously from the trenches during a war. The First World War changed the nature of warfare. It's funny how the soldiers here, these must be Canadian soldiers, it's funny how they look relatively happy or at least upbeat. Maybe they're just having fun, knowing that their photo's being taken. It really contrasts with them sitting in a ditch in a war, with how they seem kind of like their spirits seem up. This is a really cool photo. Uh, Among the casualties left in its wake, the First World War was the end of heroic myths about the glory of serving one's country. Oh, because this was in 1916. Photography improved such that portable cameras and films, coupled with better methods of reproduction, enabled photographers to bring hidden details home. So this was when war photography began, and people at home, like in Canada, could see this and be like, oh my God, war is horrible. Instead of maybe being a little more naive and being like more gung ho to go into battle and war and glory, actually seeing the war probably, I don't know, you can't deny it, probably increased hesitation. Although those guys look somewhat happy in that photo, which is really cool in a way. Very, like, contradictory almost. This is a bunch of businessmen around a table. Are they businessmen or are they Are there Canadian gangsters? Or what is this? This is 1920. We're getting more and more into forward in time. This is 100 years ago. That is so amazing. We can just see people from 100 years ago. What were they thinking about? A lot of them are looking at the camera. Following the Great War was a time of prosperity in Canada, during which elements of our cultural identity flourished. Although our art scene extends well beyond the talents of a handful of men, the Group of Seven's work, that's what, this is the Group of Seven? Sounds like a band or something. The Group of Seven? What is that? Is this like well known in Canadian history? It also sounds like a superhero group or something, like the Justice League, the Group of Seven. Their work remains a definitive illustration of the Canadian landscape and of artistic practice of the early 20th century. Really cool photo. Let's keep going here. This is people eating in 1931. I can't tell if they look distressed or not, or if this is like people on their lunch break at work, or the unbridled prosperity of the 1920s came to an abrupt end. Victims of the Great Depression relied on soup kitchens, like this one in Montreal. I was wondering, I didn't want to presume anything, but this is a picture of distress. This is a soup kitchen where they're getting like free food because it's during the Great Depression. Yeah, I've never seen or heard about Canada during the Great Depression. You learn about it a lot in American history, but not in Canada. So that's cool. Not cool for them to be living through that, but cool for me to get to see it. Oh wow, this, I can already see what this is. This looks like a sad photo. Powerful though. That's obviously Canadians going to war, and one of the soldiers saying goodbye to their son. This is sad, honestly. It's a cool moment, an amazing moment that they caught, honestly. This little boy in this photograph literally became the poster child for families separated by the Second World War. The chance shot of this 5-year-old, Warren Bernard, escaping his mother's grasp to touch his father's hand went viral, even though this was 1940. Amazing photo. I can see why this is famous. Do most Canadians, are you familiar with this photo? Because I could see that easily. Wow. Powerful. Sad, honestly. And what is, this looks a bit sad as well. Is this, Indigenous Canadians? It looks quite cold. This is an amazing moment captured. What exactly is going on here? Mid-century technological advancements enabled photographers to capture moments in remote locations. This is in 1950. Yeah, this is just an intimate moment between a mother and her daughter, I think. Really intimate moment. Wow. Is there any more info? In 1950, Padley visited this community that was starving due to a change in the migratory patterns of the caribou they relied on for food. It just reminds you how different life is in other parts of the world, like stuff that we never have to worry about. Um, like if your food is going to be available, like if the caribou that you hunt is going to migrate away and leave you starving. That's the power of photography right here, making you think about this stuff. Wow. He cut his trip short to get help for the community. Good. I hope they found help. That's amazing. Sad as well. But I think some of the best photography captures sad moments. But not this moment. This is just a woman enjoying her cigarettes in some very, very fashionable glasses. These should make a comeback. What is this? This is 1956. Peak Canadian fashion right here. 1950s saw broader segments of the population succeed financially. Many took up the pursuit of pleasure. Lutz Dill fled Germany after World War II and settled in Toronto, which he found to be a bustling and accepting place. This is Toronto, 1956. Wow! I mean, if you're this lady, life's pretty good, probably. What is this? Police? One of these police officers is taking a big old bite of a sandwich. Is this a protest? This guy's just laying down by the police car? This is cool. I've never seen this. Montreal, 1968. Continued prosperity and higher levels of education were among the factors that built a more confident generation of young Canadians. So we're really turning a corner here. The first part of these photos were pretty, bleak, pretty visceral. War. Now it's like we got past the Great Depression, and now we're getting like some of the rise of Canadians in Canada, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see this all spelled out in photography. Canadians who were eager to embrace all that life had to offer. This scene encapsulates the extent to which the old guard stood apart from the new. Who's the old guard here, though? There's police. Are the police here? Is this a protest or? I don't know, but it's cool. I want to know the story behind that photo. What is this? A hockey photo. One guy is cheering. The other guys don't look happy. Did they just win a championship or? This is game 8 of the 1972 Summit Series. If you're like me, you saw only a blur. I watched the game in a TV with poor reception in my grade 5 classroom, but it was the most exciting I'd ever seen. This is the Summit Series. What is the Summit Series? I don't know, but it's Canada raising their hands triumphantly. Awesome photo. It's really capturing emotion. Honestly, all these photos capture an emotion. Perfect example. What's going on here? This photo's too big to get it all in. It is a man in glasses and button-up shirt fumbling a football, and he does not look happy about it. This is 1974 in Ontario, North Bay. While progressive conservative leader Robert Stanford was usually adept at passing the ball, this photographer caught a miscue. And then his rivals, Pierre Trudeau's Liberals, went on to win a majority. It's all because he fumbled this ball. It all went downhill when he fumbled this pass. He lost he lost his place in the government and everything. At least that's what I'm saying. Okay, what is this? 1977 Buckingham Palace? So this is in England. Who's the Canadian and what makes this photo Canadian here? Another classic moment from Doug Ball. This captured at one G7 summit in London. Here, Pierre Trudeau. This Pierre Trudeau does a pirouette as Elizabeth II and other heads of state go to dinner. Luckily, the act was caught on film. For many Canadians, this symbolizes the country's adolescence because he's being silly, because he's being childlike. Was this a quality people liked about Pierre, or he's dancing? He's dancing while the Queen walks away to dinner. Pierre, go to dinner. Quit fooling around. Or it's kind of funny. It's funny that someone captured this moment on a photo. And what? Oh, I know what this is. I've never seen this photo before, but this silhouette is unmistakable. Terry Fox. Wow. Wow, what a photo. Wow, okay, what does it say about this? From 1980, Ontario, Terry Fox. What an amazing photo. One of Canada's greatest heroes, yep. Terry Fox set an example that continues to inspire millions of people around the world. Sadly, most Americans don't know about Terry Fox. I've learned about his story. Incredible. Truly amazing. Like, unbelievable, honestly. More Americans should know about him. And this is a great photo. His determination and spirit are evident in this silhouette. Taken in the early morning, he resumed his marathon of hope. That's a great one. Wow. This is Canadarm, right? Canadarm. This is 1996. We're really getting to the present now. Growing up in 1960s, I was fascinated by space missions and envious of Americans' NASA space, who were seemingly at the forefront of everything. The Canadarm was first tested in orbit in 1981, and it would go on to fly 90 missions. This big old Canadian space arm. This is an awesome photo, too. I mean, it's got the literal planet. In the photo. I mean, I think that automatically gets you onto the iconic Canadian photo lists. This made me feel proud of my country. Yeah. In America, we certainly don't learn about Canadian space achievements, so this is really cool for me to see. And that's Queen Elizabeth. They're signing something. This is the signing of the Constitution? 1982? Canada's relationship with the British monarchy is all about tradition. Here, Pierre Trudeau, near the end of his career, looks on as Elizabeth II signs the Constitution? Signs who? Canada's Constitution? Didn't Canada not have a constitution until 1982? 40 years ago? That can't be right. I don't understand everything about this, but it's a very, very cool photo. I just don't know what the signing of the Constitution means. Unless it's literally, like, ratifying Canada's Constitution? Is that possible? What is this? Band. Canadian band? What is the MacLeod? I can hardly speak. Doing a marching band? This is Canada Day, 1984. Okay. The British North America Act came into effect July 1st, 1867. The following year, Governor General Lord Monck signed a proclamation recognizing the anniversary of the event. It became a statutory holiday, eventually to be known as Canada Day. This is just like a iconic Canada Day photo from 1984. Cool. Never seen that. What is this? We're really getting modern now. This is from 1990 in Quebec. This is obviously military training. I've only really seen American military training and videos, and the drill instructors get up in your face and stuff like that. Is that basically the same in Canada? This photograph of sentry Patrick Cloutier and Anishinaabe warrior Brad Larocque contains a multiple of meanings. This is Quebec. To me, it represents two cultures brought face to face but not sure how to interact. Oh, wow. This is not a drill instructor getting in a recruit's face. This is two different sides of something having a standoff. What is the Anishinaabe warrior in Quebec? What is that? I am not sure. How is there two military presences in Quebec in 1990? What was going on? I'm not sure. I need more context for that, I think. Oh, okay. This is a big old Canadian flag on a giant crowd. What's this from? A huge Canadian flag is passed along a crowd that came to Montreal in support of Canadian unity. This was in 1995. Canadian unity. That's amazing. Knowing the background behind this now, and they were passing this flag around. That's incredible. This is amazing. I love this. 3 days after this photograph was taken, Quebecers voted to remain part of Canada. So this was during when Quebec was literally having a vote on whether to become an independent country, like separate from Canada. So in Montreal, there was a big crowd formation in support of Quebec remaining part of Canada, of staying unified. And that's what this big crowd gathered for. This is amazing. I didn't know the meaning behind this photo. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, let's keep going here. A couple more. Markham, Ontario, 2010. This is really getting close to the modern day. What's in Markham, Ontario? Apparently a very broken down town or house? Canada continues to grow and shape its identity. There is evidence all around that illustrates we are as a nation, the good and the bad. And that knowledge should point us in the right direction when it comes to mapping out our future. I'm still not sure what this photo means or what it's trying to say. It's talking about the evidence of the good and the bad. Is there something bad about Markham, Ontario, or good, or... No idea. No idea. Well, that's the end, actually. And it's going to leave me off with a little bit of a cliffhanger there, because I'm not going to claim that I understand everything about these photos, but I will say I really, really got a lot out of seeing these iconic photos from Canadian history. All of them have such a deep, incredible meaning, captured pretty unbelievable moments in time. Yeah, especially if I zip up here to the beginning. Some of these old Canadian photos are really incredible that they captured this stuff. Really incredible. I thoroughly enjoyed this, honestly. I enjoyed this, and I feel like I got a lot, and I learned a lot about Canadian history. And I feel like seeing it through photographs, was a wonderful way to learn about Canadian history and really feel it. Video can sometimes almost have too much information you're trying to soak in, but a photo captures an instant in time. An instant, and it really tells you a lot. Really cool to appreciate these. I quite enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these iconic Canadian photos. That'd be really cool to hear about, especially from Canadians. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and Canadian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.